All right, guys, where were we the last time around? We were doing equations. And yes, we had done um, quadratic formula, if I'm not wrong. All right, begin. Um, is it Ibrahim joining in class for the very first time? Hello, Ibrahim, can you hear me? I hope it's Ibrahim. Whoever's joined in the first time around, I'm just reading out your name from your ID. Could you let us know what your name is, please? Can you hear me? The rest of you guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is your name Ibrahim?
Yes, sir. My name is Brian.
All right, Ibrahim. Yes. Thankfully, now I can hear you. How are you, Ibrahim?
Oh, sir, I'm good.
That is good to know. Ibrahim, I believe this is the first time you're ever sitting in my class, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, Ibrahim. So, Ibrahim, we've gone up. We're trying to follow the syllabus, and we have covered everything above algebra and expressions and equations. Currently, we're doing equations, algebraic equations.
Okay,
All
sir.
right.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So, if there's any questions you have regarding it, stop me in the middle of the class and let me know. All right.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to continue forward and we're going to see how to solve any equation for that matter using your quadratic formula and using your factorization and stuff of that sort. Just give me a moment, guys. All right, guys, let's continue. So now what's going to happen is that, for example, if you've got equations, we've seen that in our previous class as well, that firstly they're going to be classified into their further forms. And once they're classified, in order to solve these particular equations, we're going to be using different methods as well. And what those methods are simply factorization. You could use quadratic formula, you could complete the square, and you could simply add or subtract the like terms. Now, these ways of solving the question, they are with regards to the equation's type. If it's a linear equation, if it's a quadratic equation, howsoever it is, whatever type it has, that is how it's supposed to be solved. All right. Just a moment. Wait. This is glitching for some reason. All right. So let's say, for example, we've done how to solve cubic quadratic equations using your quadratic formula. We solved that yesterday, and we also saw the classification between how your answer is going to be in what sort of answer is going to be required for in paper 2 and paper 4. All right. Now, let's move forward with the big guy over here, which is factorization. How do you solve something by simply using the different tools of factorization that we have? Now, one more thing that I would like to add is that linear equations are really easy. Whenever we're going to discuss solving of any equation, we're going to be discussing the solutions of quadratic and especially on non-linear equations. Why? Because linear equations are really easy to solve. Even if the linear equation itself is very complicated, it cannot still be extremely complicated, you know, to the extent that you are not able to solve it. Because at the end of the day, it's linear. For every y value, you're going to have one x value. Whereas for quadratic and cubic, obviously you've got multiple variables and multiple values to go into play. So that is going to be the issue. All right. So now what's going to happen is that what we're going to say is that we're simply going to move forward with what you may call factorization. How I how am I going to use factorization to solve my equation? Now, throwing a bit of flashback to us, let's go back up to where we actually did factorization over here. Now we saw that, using different forms of your equation and stuff of that sort, and we saw how can we factorize it and stuff of that sort. Let's take an example. mm, any example. To make up an example. Did I give you guys any example? No, I did not. I think this could work. I could use this example. All right. So I'm just going to paste this example over here. So if this is a question, I'll write it down. It looks a bit odd. So if there's a question which says that 2qt minus 3t minus 6 plus q, 4q, and you're supposed to solve it. Now this is an expression. If I want to, for example, if I want to solve this, how am I going to solve it? That I'm simply going to, if it were an equation, it would simply be like, it is equal to, let's say, like, I don't know, like 0. Could it be equal to anything? All right, let's just put it equal to 0. Now this is an equation that I need to solve. How am I going to do so? I'm first going to factorize it, obviously. So I can factorize it as t over here, common over here. So it's going to be 2q minus 3. And on the other end, it's going to be minus 2. And in the brackets, it's going to be 3. Actually, I need to rearrange it a bit. Okay, so it's going to be, sorry, it should be plus 2, and it should be minus 3 plus 2q, because obviously I have to keep it with accordance to the original um, symbol. Now what's going to happen is that we already know that it's supposed to be factorized like 2q minus 3 and t plus 2. Howsoever you may write it, there is absolutely no preference which bracket you write first. Now what's going to happen? Before the answer, if it were to just simply simplify the question, you would have left your answer up to this point. But now, because this is an equation, up to this point where I've done the factorization, I have not cared if it's an equation or not. I have absolutely not cared if it's, an equation or not. Now I'm going to care about it in terms of, it being an equation. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to say that, okay, now two possibilities could be the case. Either you take this to the other side, divided by 0, and it becomes 0. So your answer becomes t plus 2 is equal to 0. Or you can take this guy to the other side, and then your answer becomes 2q minus 0. Oh, is equal to 0. Minus 3 is equal to 0 because you took this over to the other side. So there's two possibilities of this happening. How you're going to filter this out? You're simply going to utilize the two possibilities. So I'm going to say that, both of them could happen. You could have 2q minus 3 is equal to 0, and you could have t plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay. And then simply you can solve them separately. So you could have 2q is equal to 3, q is equal to 3 over 2. and t is equal to -2 on this side. All right, you got both values of t and q. That is just as simple as you could solve it. Clear, there's nothing else to it. Any equation that you know has, for example, okay, let's try to solve this one. X squared minus 25x. Now, if it were an equation, for example, if it were any equation, like it is simply going to be x cubed. I think it was x cubed or x squared. X cubed minus 25x. Now, again, guys, this is a cubic equation. All right, this is a cubic equation. Now, I have not told you any straightforward method to solve that cubic equation. All right, obviously, you need to solve the cubic equation, but the best way to solve this type of question is simply going to be that I convert it. I convert it to what? I convert it to your um, quadratic equation. I take x out common, I factor it out. It's going to become x squared minus 25 and is equal to 0. And inside, obviously, this reminds me of this actually reminds me of what you may call a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b, a minus b. All right, the factorization tools that we studied. So now it's going to be what? That you're going to have x on the outside, you're going to have on the inside. You can write it as x squared minus 5 squared is equal to 0. Then simply what you can do is that you're going to have x is going to be x plus 5. Which is going to be equal to 0. Now again, you're going to have the same ideology again. How you're going to have it? Either you can try to leave it as it is, the inside part of the equation, because the inside part of this equation is it's still x squared minus 25 is a quadratic equation. You can leave it as it is if you want to. You can solve it using the quadratic formula, or you can further simplify it into its linear counterparts and solve it. So now you're going to have x has a probable of 3 values. So x is going to be what you may call x is going to be equal to 0, because this is going to be like x is going to be equal to 0, or it is going to be x plus 5 and x minus 5 is going to be equal to 0. Now you can simply solve it. One answer is already there. This can be further divided into two answers again. So either x is going to be equal to 5 or minus 5, or x is going to be equal to minus 5, or x is going to be equal to 5. Clear? That is how simply it is. Like there's no other method to it. When you're factorizing it, if it's kept to 0, also if it's not kept to 0, try to make it to keep it to 0, and then you're simply going to cut it in parts and solve your question. So x has 3 values. That's 5 minus 5 is 0. Anyone who has any issues with this? Yes, guys. Anyone who does not get this? The smiley looks weird. Ibrahim, is this clear? Hani, is this clear? Yes, hello guys. Any issues with this?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, Rani. Okay. Now, we obviously can do more practice regarding factorization, which we will do. But before that, we're going to simply, wind it all up by using completing the square. Now, how do I use my completing the square to solve equation the same way that you've used factorization. You're going to attempt the entire question. If it requires completing the square, you're going to attempt the entire question, and keeping in mind that it's, try to consider that it's an expression until you're done with completing the square. As soon as you're done with completing the square, just, do the following functions to actually find your value. So if I'm using completing the square to solve an equation, wait, I'll just grab an example from above. Any example would suffice. These are the ones that we can use. Hopefully, Hani, this is clear now.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now let's look into this example. So for example, this is a question. If I want to solve it using completing the square, but first of all, let's just imagine that this is a it's equal to 0. I've just converted it into an equation. Let's just say that, for example, usually the best case scenario would be for me to use the quadratic formula, which we have done, which is like the perfect way to do so. It's absolutely universal. It applies to everything. But for example, let's say that you don't remember it, anything happens, and you're bound to use completing the square. First, I'm going to forget that this guy exists. I'm going to simply forget that this guy exists. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to simply solve it using completing the square. And I'm going to cheat a bit over here. I had solved that question earlier, and I'm going to copy it down below. Once I solve it using completing the square, what is going to happen is I have solved it using completing the square. There's nothing about it. Then I can just simply put in my, just carry it along. It's so simple as that. We can try to carry the question along like this. And what is that going to give us? Is that simply is I'm going to carry it along. And at the very end, now you're going to have, apologies, I wrote it wrong, x minus 3 whole squared minus 8 is equal to 0. Now it's so simple. I can simply solve this equation. I used my completing the square method to simplify what you may call the question above, but now I can simply solve an equation. An equation solving is too easy. How can I solve an equation? It's simply going to be x minus 3 whole squared minus 8, which you can take it to the other side. So it's minus 8 is equal to 0, which can be written down as x minus 3 whole squared is equal to 8. All right. Now what's going to happen is that you can simply, do it again. So x minus 3 whole squared, either now you can attempt it like this. I could take square root on both sides. And, I could do it like this. Or there's one other way of doing it, which you can simply, taking the square root is probably the better option, because then you'll have much more access to do it. So if I take the square root outside, it's going to be what you may call under root 8. You cancel out the square roots with the square, so it's going to be x minus 3. Now you guys must be wondering how we're going to get the two values. Whenever you're adding a third, the plus minus sign has to come into play. So x minus 3 is going to be either equal to x minus 3 is going to be equal to plus 8, place plus under root 8. Obviously, the under root is going to still be there. Or you're going to have it as minus under root 8. Clear? And you can solve it further. If I solve it with x, it's going to be plus under root. Why doesn't this recognize an under root? Plus under root 3. Or you're going to have the same question, the same answer, but this time around I'll just knock off the plus sign. Anyone who does not understand this. Now, if it were a paper two, if it were a paper four question, I probably would have solved it further and I would have given your answer in a decimal or a fraction, whatever, I want to give an answer in. But if it's a paper two question in which the calculator is not going to be allowed, it is very common sense that I cannot solve it further. This is the extent of my solution. And because this is the extent of my solution, I need a calculator after this. I'm going to leave it as it is and get the full mark. Is this clear, guys? Oh, sorry, sir. I did not see you raise your hand. Yes, sir.
Why do we use negative under root 8?
Why do we use negative under root 8? All right, sir.
Why don't we just calculate the answer for positive under root 8?
Because obviously we don't know whether it is perfectly positive or perfectly negative. It is not stated in the question. The question is ambiguous. Clear? Okay. Okay. You've asked
Yeah.
me this question. I'll ask you this question. Why did we use plus minus over here then? Why didn't we just solve it for the plus? Because sir, it was never stated to me in the question that this is positive. All right. This sometimes happens. How so? Sometimes how it happens, not with the under root, but I'm telling you, like for answers. For example, if you have an answer, if you have a question regarding money, for example, you have a question regarding money, and you are getting two answers, and one answer is positive and one answer is negative. Can you have negative money? No, you cannot. Money does not exist in negative terms. Technically, paper money cannot be negative. How many cars do you have? -2. That doesn't make sense. All right. So obviously, you're going to ignore that answer. You're going to say not applicable, or you're going to say like this answer cannot be used, and you're going to use one answer. This is going to be extremely helpful when we move on with trigonometry. In trigonometry, you're going to have different, what you may call, your sine, cos, tan graphs and stuff of that sort, in which the different values you cannot use apart from them. But we are going to do this when we move forward with trigonometry. Is this clear? Yes, someone got
Yeah.
their hand. Yes, Zoya.
Sir, what if the both x values are positive?
Okay. So what?
Like in this example, both of the x values are positive, so I just write both of them as my answer, not only one of them.
Yeah, Zoya, obviously common sense. Yeah. Guys, wait, just give me a moment. I think you guys are thinking of it in this terms that always you're going to have a plus value and a negative. No, that's not the case. Trust me at all. You can have a negative value and you can have both negative values. You can have both positive values. It doesn't matter. You just have to solve it like this. You just have to make sure that you're using plus minus with the method is correct. Everything other than like the answer can be two positive values, two negative values, two zeros, could be anything. The answer doesn't matter. Is this clear? Okay, like let's just say, Zoya, for example, over here, I had three x values in which two of them are positive. I wrote both of them down. There was nothing two-sidedness about it. Clear, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anyone who has any issues with this? Anything that anyone does not understand? Hopefully, this is clear. All right. I think you guys have done this. But like, for example, I don't think there was any solution over here. This one was too easy. Wait, let me give you a question. Past paper question. Let's do that. Ibrahim, is this clear? Can you hear me, Ibrahim? Hello, Ibrahim. Can you hear me? I'm seemingly having trouble with connecting with Ibrahim. Ibrahim, if you can hear me, let me know. Basit, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Any issues with this, Basit? There should not be, but
Sir, I just have a problem with that. When you have to simplify the completing square,
where, Basit?
like
So
if it is 4x square plus 3x plus 2, you have to remove the 4, like that.
where are you? Can you pinpoint the question? Are you talking about here?
Yeah, when the value of x square is, more than 1. I'm saying, you
Oh, okay. I get that. I think you're talking about questions like these, where you have to factor it out first. Okay, I
yeah,
get that. Okay, let's do a question like this first. So Basit is telling us that you know what happens because everyone obviously knows that in order to solve a quadratic or in order to solve using completing the square, you're going to have to make sure that the coefficient of x is equal to 1, coefficient of x squared, that is. Now, I'm going to treat this as an equation. Let's try it out first. So what am I going to have first? I'm going to take this out as common. Now, Basit, obviously, I know that taking like 7 has nothing in common with 4. So like that doesn't really make sense, does it? All right. It doesn't make sense at all. You know, 7 is not common by 4. Clear? So what is going to happen? I'm just going to simply use my x squared term and my x term. Where, Basit?
yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Basit, is this easier to do so? Once you just need to factorize, Basit. Take something common. I don't care whatever you take as common. Just make sure that there is no number with x squared. Now, what I can do is that I can simply write it as 4 times x squared minus 2x plus 2 over 2, half of 2 squared whole squared minus half of 2, what you may call whole squared. And you got plus 7 on the outside. Then I can isolate this guy as well again. This guy can be isolated. So what is that going to happen? Is that simply I can rewrite this guy as this looks a bit to me like x squared or a squared minus 2ab. No, plus b squared, which is equal to a minus b whole squared. Clear? All right. Now what's going to happen is that you're going to have it as this. So it's going to be 4 times x minus, this is 2 over 2 is obviously equal to 1. So it's going to be 1. So it's going to be x minus 1 whole square minus 1 because 2 over 2 whole squared is equal to 1 and 1 squared is also equal to 1. So it is going to look like this plus 7 is equal to 0. Now what's going to happen is that it's going to be 4 times x minus 1 whole squared minus 4 plus 7, which is equal to 0. Simply solving it further. Now what I'm going to have is, Basu, is this step clear?
Sir, why did you write -4?
Expanded the bracket, Basu. 4 is multiplying inside the bracket, Basu. Clear?
Okay, sir.
This was the larger bracket, right, Basit? Obviously, if I need to simplify with the plus 7 outside, I need to open the bracket first. Clear? So now what's going to happen is that it's going to be 4 times x minus 1 whole squared, which is going to be plus 3 on the outside because minus 4 plus 7, and it is equal to 0. So this is going to be 4 times x plus 1 whole squared is equal to minus 3 over 4. So it's going to be x minus 1 whole squared minus 3 over 4. Now this question cannot be solved. Why it cannot be solved? Because now if I put the under root there, if I put the under root there, what is going to happen is that you're going to have to, you cannot solve this because minus 3 over 4, you cannot have a minus sign inside the under root. So that's the big issue. Is this clear? So even if you cancel this out, this is not solvable. because of the mere fact that you've got a minus sign there. So as an equation, it cannot be solved. Oops. As an equation, it cannot be solved. You cannot get a further answer than this. This is like the closest you can get to the answer. But you can, still simplify it. Not every equation can be solved. Some equations have an undefined answer. Is this clear, Basit? Everyone? Basit, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Khushi, any issues?
No, sir.
Zoya, yes.
Sir, if the coefficient of x was not like divisible by the coefficient of x squared. For example, if it was like 9x instead of 8. So do we just do the same thing, or like we cannot factor that out, right?
You're saying 9x? Okay. This is the situation, Khushi? Oh, Zoya.
Yeah.
Can I do it like this, Zoya? The problem just becomes a bit more complicated. That's it. If, for example, okay, if it says 1 and 3. Now, there's nothing common in between them, right? Okay, let's just say 2 and 3. There's nothing common in between them. If I want to factor them out, like if I really want to factor them out, can I simply write them as 2 on the outside, 1, because 2 is divisible by 2, but 3 isn't divisible by 2. So I can simply write it as, 3 over 2. Why can I write it as? Because when I expand the bracket, 2 and 2's will cancel out and you'll be back to 3. Clear, guys? This is how you do a question. For example, you guys can write this down. This is how we do any question. Also, is this purple color visible? I don't think so. I'm having trouble seeing it. All right. For example, if there's any question which you cannot, wrap your head around in terms of factorization, you can simply factor it out like this. Yes. There's absolutely no issue in factorizing it. Clear? Zoya, any issues with this? Is this clear?
Sir, could you solve this particular question?
The question is just very difficult. Okay, let's try to solve it. For example, if the question was like this, now if I'm going to solve it through completing the square, what is that going to do is that I'm going to take everything. Now 9 over 4 x. Now you have to take half of 9 over 4. How do you take half of 9 over 4? You're going to add 9 over 4. Half of 9 over 4 is what? 9 over 4 divided by 2, which can also be written as 9 over 4 multiplied by 1 over 2. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 9 over 4. Wait. 9 over 4 multiplied by 1 over 2 whole squared minus 9 over 4 multiplied by 1 over 2 whole squared plus 7 over 4 as it is on the outside. It is equal to 0. All right. Now what we're going to do is simply further simplify this. So what is going to be the simplification of 9 over 4 times 2? 9 over 8, I think. Yes, it's going to be 9 over 8 whole squared minus 9 over 8 whole squared plus 7 over 4 with the bracket. Now what's going to happen if I simply want to solve this further? this part itself is going to be x minus 9 over 8 whole squared. So it's going to be 4 times bigger bracket x minus 9 over 8 whole squared minus 9 squared is going to be 81 over 64 plus 7 over 4 on the outside. Then if you simply solve it further, what are you going to have? You're going to have something. Okay, guys, take LCM, please. Help me out here. What is going to be the LCM of 60? Oh, you know this LCM is really easy. So it's going to be 4 times. Just give me a moment. I'll simplify this, guys, just a moment. All right. Yes, this is going to remain as it is, 9 over 8. And was anyone kind enough to simplify this? So can somebody please simplify this? I'll have to get my calculator because I really don't want to simplify this. No one is kind enough.
So it's
Sad.
228 divided by 64.
Too late, sir. I've already taken out my calculator. Okay, but tell me answer, please. 200 and what?
228 upon 64
What, plus or minus?
plus
Plus
no,
228 over this? Is that even correct? Well, let me see.
sorry, it's minus 66.
Wait, I'm having issues believing you now. 81 over 64 with a minus sign. You add that up to a 7 over 4 below 31. Sad. What's up with this? I don't think I'm wrong. So it's going to be like this. And you're on the outside. Zoya really doesn't like us. He has given us a very, very dark looking question. Okay, let's expand this. So it's going to be x minus 9 over 8 whole squared. And if you expand this, what do you get? 4 times the answer 31 over 16 plus, yeah, plus 31 over 16. And we already know that this cannot be solved because if I take this to the other side, it is going to become negative. You cannot solve a square with a negative. So I'll just knock off this because I don't really want to solve it further. So is this clear?
Sir, I don't understand the part. Like, shouldn't we be taking out the 31 out of 64
I did.
to the? Okay, yeah, you did. Fine.
Yeah, I simplified it. I'm when you multiply with 4, 4 cancels out. So it remains 4, 64 and 4 cancels out. So it becomes 1 and 16. That's what I did. Clear?
Yes, okay.
All right. Any issues with this?
No, sir.
All right. Yes. Anyone who still does not get this, let me know. This question was something, but thankfully we did it. All right. So if you've got a question, this was a very good question. Like for example, if it's not divisible, what you're simply going to do is just write it down, get it over with. Simple. Like the easiest way to get out of it. Is there anyone who does not get this? Raneen, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, Raneen. Raneen, why did you take so much time to answer? Is this actually clear? Hmm. I'm having a hard time believing you now, Raneen. And now because of Raneen, you guys have to do a question. And I'll ask Raneen first. And let me wipe out the solution first. I've already done it with some of you before this question. Hopefully, your memory is as good as mine, so you guys don't remember it. Also, guys, your worksheet class is on Friday, right? I think so.
Yes.
Hmm. Can everyone see the question? This is a question. Do it. Just has 4 parts, guys. Come on. It's like very easy to do. This is simply a question which involves equation solving. The sooner you are done with the question, the sooner we leave.
Sir, please zoom in.
And then, who was that? I did not recognize your voice. Was it Ibrahim?
It was me.
So what happened to your voice? Okay, everyone do this part first. Then when you're done with it, I'll scroll down. Also, Ibrahim, can you hear me? Hello, Ibrahim. Hello, Ibrahim, can you hear me? I cannot hear you though. Hopefully you can hear me, Ibrahim. Are you guys done? Basit, do you have class after this?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Computer science, right?
Yeah.
Basit, you also take computer science?
Yes, sir.
Why, Basit?
Uh, it's good.
It's good for what?
Engineering.
Not really though. You should take chemistry. Do you take chemistry?
Yeah.
That's good for science. I never liked computer science. I was a bio student. Basit, do you take bio?
Yeah. I take biometer both.
How many subjects do you have, Basit?
7.
You've got English, math, 4 sciences, right? You've got 4 sciences. And just give me a moment. Yes, Basit, you've got 4 sciences. Why do you have 7 subjects? You have more sciences.
Yeah, and one commerce subject.
One commerce. Which one?
Accounting.
Accounting or economics?
Accounting.
Why are you studying accounting, Basit? Is it with your what you may call? Do you want to go into the business stream?
No, just as an extra subject.
For the
You
grade?
know, because in first year of IG, it was required to take 7 subjects. So I had to.
Honey, you're getting what? Honey is getting something. I did not understand it, honey. All right, Basit, I heard you. Sir, I'm getting 2.8. For what? Honey, this is too cryptic. Answer A. Honey, you're supposed to get an equation. It says over here you're supposed to get an equation. You're not supposed to get uh, anything else. It's an expression that it is, and you have to write an equation in terms of x. All right. How about I give you guys this as homework? How many of you agree? Raise your hands. If I give you this as homework, yes, honey, I realize it. If I give you this as homework, you agree. Saad only agrees. Saad does not have buddies. Saad, if you can make 4 or 5 other people agree, then I will give this as homework. Yes. No one agrees with Saad. That's sad. Saad, you don't have friends here? Hmm? Okay, so Saad, they do not want this as homework. I wanted to give you guys this as homework, but apparently you guys do not want it. So now I cannot say anything.
Sir, just send the question on Google Classroom.
Okay. Let me send it on Google Classroom. It's just one question, guys. Literally. You're taking so much time with these questions. Hmm. Wait. I've never done this before, but I've asked a question on Google Classroom. I didn't even think that was possible. I'm learning newer things daily. Has everyone received the question or no? It says only Kushi has received the question. Also, let me take your attendance. Wait, who is present today? Let me take your attendance. Where is the attendance sheet? No. All right. Today is the 4th. And Basit, are you present? Yes, Basit is present. Vishal is absent. Fahad is absent. Asim is absent. Raneem is present. Ayan is absent. Saad is here. Dan isn't here. Ani is also not here mentally, but she will be here physically. Who else here? Kushi is here. Okay, that's it. You guys are falling short. Honey, you weren't here yesterday?
Yes, sir.
No, you were not here.
I was I was in the class yesterday.
Oh, wow, I marked you absent. That's funny. Where was Honey late? I think you were late, Honey. Okay, this time, Honey,
Yes,
last
I
morning.
was late.
Last morning, Honey. I marked you absent now. Oh, present now, sorry. And Honey is here. Basit, is Ishal coming to the other classes or no?
No, sir.
I should inform Ishal. I thought he was just, sneaking out of my own classes. Hmm. Ahmad was present yesterday, but he's absent today. Qasim is almost always absent. Guys, just a moment. All right. Oh no. Yes, guys, are you done? Are you guys done or not done? All right, what I'm going to do is now that I'm going to give this as homework. I have absolutely no, you guys have left me with no option. All right. So kindly do this till the next class, which is tomorrow at the same time. Kindly be on time as well. I will try to be on time too. Apologies for the inconvenience. Keep smiling. Have a very nice day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Allah Hafiz. Bye-bye.
Allah Hafiz.
That's it. And also Ibrahim, if you can, oh, he's left. It's all right. Bye bye, Rani. Bye bye, Honey.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
So,
Yes. Yes. Who's got a question? Honey, you have.
yes sir, जब मैं ज्वाइन करती
Mm-hmm.
जब
My
मैं
last
ज्वाइन करती हूँ तो वो
Yes, Honey. Ibrahim, just a moment. I'll get back to you. Yes, Honey. When you join, what
टीचर
happens?
जब मैं ज्वाइन तो टीचर इट डजंट लेट मी इन. जब भी मैं लेट हो जाती हूँ मैं टाइम पे बैठ जाती हूँ लेकिन आई डोंट नो देयर समथिंग रॉन्ग. तो वो मुझे मतलब लेता ही नहीं है क्लास में.
Maybe he doesn't like you. The Google Classroom. I don't know.
It's saying asking to be let in, asking to be let in.
Then maybe, okay, that should not be the case. Okay, I'll see to it, honey. Okay, tomorrow do join in, okay? I'll let you know.
Okay, teacher.
Usually I let everyone in, I let everyone in individually. So if your name pops up, then I'll let you join, okay? Usually I
Okay,
tell
sir.
admit all, so everyone admits, then your name pops up. I'll see to it tomorrow, honey, don't worry. All right,
Okay, sir. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Assalamualaikum, Ibrahim, how are you?
Oh, hi sir, I'm good. How are you, sir?
Ibrahim, yes, it was your demo class. Any questions for me, Ibrahim?
No sir. It was good, sir.
All right. Anything that you don't get, Ibrahim, you can let me know. Also, Ibrahim, we have a Google Classroom. You probably would have known that. I add all my questions to Google Classroom, all the assignments, the class announcements, everything goes on to Google Classroom. So if you could just send me, if you're willing to continue with me, you can just send me your email. And we're trying to cover the syllabus by 15th March. So even if you've covered some of the topics already, you can, just simply do a revision with me of sorts. All right.
Yes, sir.
And we try to do questions a lot. Like in our classes, it's like, in every class, because obviously when time is less, exams are near. So I try to make sure that everyone does a lot of questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any issues with this exam?
No, sir. Sir.
All right. Also, I do want you to speak up more in class, okay?
Okay, sir.
Tomorrow, if you are coming up, you can come tomorrow the same class, nobody. All right. So I'm going to you. I did not do it today because we were a bit late. The class starts around at 8 p.m. Pakistan. Tomorrow, what's going to happen is that, I'm going to make you introduce yourself to class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So a small introduction, you'll have fun. Don't worry. We do it all the time. All right, Ibrahim. Keep smiling. Allah Hafiz, and see you tomorrow.
Okay, sir. See you tomorrow.
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.